Can I get a shot of tequila? Yeah, and can you make it strong? Fuck, what am I doing here? I have a degree. What can I get you? Drunk? Welcome to episode 7 of Behind Bars, Cocktails, and Wasted Nights. I'm your host, Greg. I've been working as a bartender for over 20 years, and over those years, I've seen a lot. My goal here is to share some of those high and low lights with you. Quick warning, this podcast contains sex, drugs, and some language that isn't suitable for anyone under 21 years of age, so you gotta have some ID. First things first, drinks go to Elise and Uncle Reg's first for the 5-star reviews. Thanks so much, you guys. They really help. And if you want a shout out, all you got to do is leave a 5-star review and I'll serve you first. Also, Correction Corner. In episode 5, I mentioned interviewing with Alec Baldwin. His production company is called El Dorado, not El Camino. Sorry. I was nervous before the interview, so I downed 2 airplane bottles of Jack, and not getting the job was traumatic, so my memory failed me a scotch. Okay. Let's get buzzed. For this story, I recommend The Naked and Famous, which comes from listener Chris Stotts. You'll need mezcal, which is basically the scotch of tequila, yellow chartreuse, Aperol, and lime juice. Chill a coupe with ice water. Then, in a mixing tin filled with ice, pour in 3/4 of an ounce of all the things and shake with that oh-so-popular wrist motion. Strain into your chilled coupe and enjoy. And as Chris says, getting naked can certainly help you become famous. He's right. Ask the Kardashians. Okay, on with the story. I was slinging booze on a typical Tuesday at Dimples, the karaoke bar in beautiful uptown Burbank, which means making cocktails for Robert the stuttering stuntman, beers for Matt the stagehand on disability, trading Bud Lights for Gravity Blow with Larry Oakey, and listening to Chappie sing, I can't stand to fly, I'm not that naive, and all the rest of the 3-ring circus I ran. Hopefully you remember this nonsense from episode 2, the night I puked into the cash register. Another laser beam on my resume. Luckily, Reagan the host took the mic after Chappie's brutal rendition of Five for Fighting and provided some oral relief. Not oral, oral. He was a guy who could competently croon the Sinatra-era standards and create the badly needed relief in the form of an eardrum massage. This time, he was rocking Vehicle by the Ides of March, complete with a mic stand push-away brought back by a light stomp on the bass during the instrumental, the kind that Prince does. Expert. I tried it once and got a fat lip and almost chipped a tooth. Bastard. Anyways, the Burger King to our McDonald's, 4 or 5 blocks around the corner, was Sardo's, another karaoke bar. And they were hosting their porn star karaoke night that they started up to compete with our ladies' night, and all the sex celebrities went. It was because of that night they had I almost applied there, but thought better of it, as I didn't want to normalize or go numb to that world. It's the same reason I've never worked in a strip joint. Can you imagine coming home to your girl waiting for you in a skimpy schoolgirl outfit and thinking, please, honey, if I see another one of those tonight, what's left in life? See, in my 20s, my sex drive was unreasonably high. I couldn't get anything done. I would drive 5 hours to maybe make out with a chick. Now, in my 40s, I could be at a bar and a girl could ask me to come back to her place, and I'm like, will there be parking? Young me hates old me. Anyways, sometimes there'd be a spillover from Sardo's into Dimples, and we get the porn stars in to attempt to display their other hidden talents while fully dressed. Ish. On this night, an innocent-looking little cutie ordered a $5 Corona, and I gave her a 10 and 5 ones back on her 20. She left the 10. Being the honest, self-hating business idiot I am, I called her back. Hey, I think you left the wrong bill on the bar for me, I said. She walked back to the bar to switch out her tip, so I thought. No, I didn't. That 10's for you. You're cute, she said. Well, let me call my parents and let them know someone finally appreciated their genetic combination, I said. I know. My 24-year-old game was atrocious, but it seemed to work in this case. I didn't want her to walk away, so I dropped the LA equivalent of the college campus come-on of, what's your major? Which is, so, are you an actress? After all, she was really cute, and I wanted to see where I could take this. As a matter of fact, I am, she said. At Dimples, you'd constantly meet people who are actual professional actors, but you didn't necessarily recognize them. We'd get a ton of commercial actors, soap opera characters, Mr. Belding, and basically a trove of, I think I've seen you before people. She was one of those, I think I've seen you before people, which was a telling moment for me after the following exchange, because yeah, she looked familiar. Might I have seen you in anything, I asked? She looks me dead in the eyes and said, do you watch porn? The first thought I had was, what a dumb question. And the second thought was, will you marry me? But I didn't say that either, because the fact of the matter was that I was speechless. She gave me her name and said, look me up. Dun City, population me. She walked away to go drink with her coworkers, and I bent over to fake stocking beer bottles until my erection went back down. It was one of those times I wish I'd worked in a bar that required an apron, or at least let you wear your shirt untucked. Fuck! Finally flaccid, I got back to making server drinks, mostly all wrong as I couldn't stop meeting eyes with her from across the room. I was preoccupied to say the least. Let's see you try to concentrate in this scenario. After all the eye flirting, it was last call, and I was crestfallen to know she would be leaving, probably to never see her again off screen. I almost jumped for joy when she approached the bar to say goodnight, and of course I already had my business card ready. You know bartenders out there, your phone number jotted down on a coaster. She had hers ready for me too. We made the exchange and I was elated. It took me about 30 minutes to count my drawer and it was still way off and I couldn't have cared less. I just needed to punch out and get out. I know you're supposed to text after a day or two, but I don't play the cool game because I'm not cool. I texted her that night and we made a date for 2 weeks from the following day. It had to be 2 weeks because of her one condition. I had to go and get tested for the alphabet soup of STDs. She sent me to AIM, the Adult Industry Medical Center, founded by Nina Hartley, who some of you veteran pervs may remember from the VHS days. It was hilarious. There I was in a room with way too many people I shouldn't have recognized, waiting to see if I had the HEP, the HERP, or the HIV, or Lord knows what. The reason it was hilarious was because when they called my name to get my piece of paper and announced Greg Studley into the waiting room, 2 male porn stars chuckled and one offered a, "Great stage name, man. Love it." To which I replied, "Oh, that's actually my real name. I'm just going on a date with one of yours. Believe me, you wouldn't want me starring in your movies, even though the camera adds 10 pounds. This time the girls in the waiting room laughed, which, not gonna lie, kinda stung, but you always gotta risk it for the joke if it's quality. The guy at the desk with the 4 lip rings handed over my sheet and my heart was about to explode, cause that shit is beyond nerve-wracking. He said, enjoying his Ryan Seacrest American Idol tension building. Dick. You're good to go, man. Have fun. PHE-fucking-W. I grabbed my sex pass and said my goodbyes to my new friends and headed out the door, jumping and clicking my heels on the sidewalk. Just kidding, I didn't do that. The longest 2 weeks of my life had finally passed, and it was like Christmas had finally arrived for an eager 10-year-old. Not to bring Jesus into this, I'm just talking about getting gifts here. I took her out to Crave, a romantic overpriced restaurant in Sunset Plaza, and we ate and laughed and got along famously. She looked stunning, and I was peacocking for the other diners, basking in their stares at my arm candy. The entire dinner, I was both psyched and anxious about the upcoming performance, as I'd binge-watch her work, and not gonna lie, some of it included absolute anatomical feats of endurance. I'll spare you the details of what transpired at my place after dinner, but I'll say this. Thank God for Kegels. I'm actually doing mine as we speak. Believe it or not, because we hit it off so well, we soon became an item. All coupled up and newly enamored with each other, we painted the town just about every night I had off, for about 4 months. 4 months because that's the average amount of time people can sustain their first impression fakery in any relationship. Then the real feelings begin to emerge. Our sheer bliss came to a close, and I'm not proud to admit it was all my fault. The fateful day came one seemingly innocuous Saturday night when we were supposed to meet up after work. I got slammed that night, spending most of it in the weeds. I was in a horrible mood, the kind where you wonder why the fuck you're a bartender, not one of those work-from-home people who make more money Facebooking all day from a cushioned seat. I honestly don't know where to begin looking for those gigs. Seriously, what the fuck is a project manager? What does that even mean? Any hoozlebees, all this sweet thing did was ask me how my night went, and it took a fateful turn. Oh my God, we got crushed, I said. It never let up. We had a line outside. There were probably 2 singers that didn't piss me off. Working a karaoke bar is like enduring the moderate pain of getting a tattoo for 8 hours. I must have made 1,000 drinks, I said. That was your day, babe. It was rough, she said. I had a gangbang scene first thing in the morning, and my TMJ is seriously acting up. And that was it. This couldn't be my reality. Sure, dating a porn actress seems great on paper, but what the fuck was I doing? This relationship couldn't turn into anything serious if I was at all a redeemable degenerate and I was being honest with myself. To be absolutely clear, I have nothing but respect for those in the adult industry. They get paid handsomely and have way more fun than any working stiff I know. No pun intended. If you have any doubts, please listen to episode 3. It was a dark and stormy Daniels night. We still on for tonight, she asked. Babe, I'm beat. Let's get together tomorrow, I said, already steeling myself for the impending conversation of doom we'd have the next day. I hate relationships. They can only lead 2 places, breakups or marriage, and I'm fucking terrified of both. Somehow I mustered the courage to break it off. Everything had been perfect and we'd have nothing but stupid amounts of fun, and I didn't want to hurt her. Hell, I didn't want to hurt me, but I knew it was going to suck out loud. I took her to the Stinking Rose restaurant, which was known for its dishes that featured a shit ton of garlic. This would remove the kissing from the equation. Yeah, I'm a calculating asshole. I told her how I felt, that I loved our time shared together, but that things were getting serious and I wasn't ready to be in a relationship. It's like, what's wrong with me? You can date other people, she said. I don't care. Just make sure you tell me all the naughty details, she said. Man, she was making this tough. At 24, this was the perfect situation, but I couldn't lie to myself. I would never judge her or ask her to leave her profession, but I felt jealousy and a little possessiveness surfacing inside of me. I told her I was very much in like with her, but I didn't like the feelings I was having when it came to the jealousy. She understood and said she'd been through it. A lot. When she said a lot, it reinforced that I was making the right call. We remained friends. Dad occasionally did it. Kinda often. Yeah, I'm a weak man. But that's not where the porn stopped at Dimples. The boss, Sal, was a dirty old man, unapologetically pervy. It was almost endearing. He had a partner, Al, R.I.P., who was the elderly handyman who tinkered with the sound and made sure the O.J. Simpson burglar cutout stopped falling off the ladies' room ceiling. Shit like that. One day, I came in for my shift, and these 2 maniacs had come across, again, no pun intended, a porn vid of a former servers who'd made the transition into the adult industry, which pays a hell of a lot better than getting dollars for beers. She worked at Dimples before my time, so I didn't know her. It was just the 3 of us, and we didn't open for an hour, so they had it playing on all 7 TVs in the joint. The Dimples audio-visual setup was this. Inside the karaoke booth, adjacent to the stage, were 3 cameras that pointed out a window and streamed the singer's performance on all the TVs so everyone could see what was happening if they happened to be seated facing away from the stage. In other words, you couldn't escape it. While streaming the 3-camera show live, the performance was also recorded onto a master VHS, which Sal dated and kept in case someone ever came in and asked for their performance from whatever date in the past, and to submit for his Burbank public access TV show that aired on Sundays. Yup. People could watch a week's montage of Dimple's karaoke performances at home, and it was a favorite for local karaoke and mushroom enthusiasts alike. After a song finished, the KJ would rewind the tape back about a minute or so and replay the closing part of the video on the bar's TVs while Sal located and brought the cassette tape of the song to the singer, who'd return to their seat. That night, we had a Christian youth group in the bar who'd gotten together to sing their hearts out while drinking $2.50 sodas, no refills by the way, for one of the members' birthdays. Yeah, you can see where this is going. Anyways, after one of those chaste young'uns finished their song, the KJ had to multitask. He brought up the canned applause on the mixing board, rewound the videotape, and queued up the birthday song, which was followed by the rodeo song, which snapped me into my classical conditioning, and like a fucking robot, I served up the Laird Kahlua Bailey's whipped cream blowjob shot that some poor girl had to down from some guy's crotch using only her mouth. Sal brought out the Freixenet and the skimpy tank Dimples tank top that read, "Stay young, stay sexy, stay hard, stay wet, stay over," and other gems you may think I'm lying about. When I saw him approach the Christian youth group, I knew this was a terrible idea and could only end in disaster. When he came to fetch the blowjob shot, I said, "Sal, don't bring the shot over. They're in a Christian youth group." Sal, famous for his filter-free abusive anger toward his subordinates, told me to mind my own business and bartend, because that's what I pay you to do, which pissed me right the fuck off. I watched as he tried to get the girl to kneel down in front of the guy and prepare to perform oral on the shot glass, and she outright refused. They were all visibly offended as he grabbed her wrist and tried to